Yo, what's up? Welcome. How's everybody doing? Sound check is good. Welcome to the stream. You guys already know what this is. This is Boost Up English Live here, the best number one online YouTube show for non native speakers to learn how to hear the language like a native speaker. I am here. We're going to get this going. We got a good show for you guys today. We're going to talk about numbers, right? Everybody needs numbers. Actually, numbers is probably the number one thing that you should learn when you're learning a language. I know from experience, if you can at least understand what people are saying, when you're paying for stuff, you can survive at the very least. We're also going to do phrase chunks as usual, and we got our accent analysis. So it's going to be a good show here. You guys, as you're coming in, please hit the like button. Remember, if you're getting value from the show, that means somebody else will as well. So if you hit that like button, YouTube will push it out to more people and everybody can boost up their English together. What else? If you guys, I've always if you have some words or phrases you want me to break down, drop them in the chat or in the comment section if it's the replay. Yeah, just any questions at all. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Hope you had a good Saturday. I ran some errands, went downtown, did a couple things. Um, so let me know where you guys are watching from. I always want to know what city, what country you're watching from. Let me know what's your native language. Let me know what topics you want me to cover. I will cover any topic related to American pronunciation for non-native speakers. So why don't we jump into this here and get this show on the road. All right, so numbers. This is the most fundamental thing for traveling to another country. You guys don't, even if you don't care about speaking the language, even if you haven't started speaking the language yet and you want to, if you're going to move around and you're going to buy stuff, especially in local places, you need to understand what numbers, how they sound, how to pronounce them, right? So you can at least not overpay for things, or at least, not ruin your budget on your trip. Funny story, I remember the first time I came to Colombia in 2014, right? I had been doing I had been doing a little practice online, this and that, right? Not really understanding how to get ready. You run through the numbers, right? I mean, everybody knows uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. I mean, everybody knows that. So you don't put that much emphasis on it. But I remember the first time that I went out of the hostel. I went down, I think it was Plaza Bolivar in Bogota, and I just went to just some lady that was selling fruit, just to cut up the cups of fruit, right? Whatever they got in there. Usually got pineapple, mango, papaya, um, whatever else. And I get there and I'm ready. I mean, I'm hungry. Fruit's looking good. I don't know what I said. I probably said uno, right? For one, pointed at it. And then she started handing it to me and I said cuanto, right? And what she said, I could not understand what she said. I was not ready for it. So I said, I knew to say como, right? That's what Colombians say, como, right? To ask someone to repeat something. And she said it again. And I was like, I don't know what you just said. And I just walked away. It was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. Because the way that I had been looking at the number when I was reading it and practicing it was not the way that I expected it to sound. And the number that she said was 500 in Spanish, right? Quinientos. Quinientos, right? Because numbers are easier in Spanish when it's like cien is easy. There's like doscientos, trescientos, cuatrocientos, and then quinientos, right? Quiniento. It's like quinientos. We're like, what? It's like, so that was a huge failure. And I probably made her feel bad too. I mean, I wish I could go and like, give her a hug right now and be like, I'm so sorry. Here's whatever, way more money than that just to make up. She probably lost the fruit cup. So yeah, numbers are important, guys. You should learn numbers no matter what. Even if you're not gonna be on conversational level, you want to buy stuff when you're traveling, or if are doing big business as well. I see a lot of you people come to my class. A lot of students are doing big business, right? On an international level, you have American clients, and the way you pronounce numbers is not easy to understand. And so that is a big red flag. That is a huge red flag. If I was doing business and putting together a contract or a deal with someone from another country and I could barely understand the numbers when they pronounce them, I would be out of there. I don't care how good the idea is. It's like, I really don't know which numbers you're saying to me. So guys, seems like a small lesson here, but this is a big, big lesson that can really, just help you move more fluidly and smoothly through life, and also, right, just establish more authority if you're, using English for your professional life. So, guys, don't forget, hit the chat or hit the like button as you're coming in. Let me know where you're watching from, what country, what is your native language, and we're going to jump into this. So, numbers. We're not going over all numbers. We're just going over the difference between the teens and the multiples of 10. So, you guys already know that everything for our ears depends on connection and contrast. Connection and contrast, right? You guys hear me talk about the same thing over and over and over. So, what you need to understand is how to create the correct contrast for our ears so that it is obvious which number that you're using. All right, so this is the same pattern. There's no exceptions to this, but once you hear it, right, you'll be able to repeat it and make sure that the other person understands. So, like it says here, the listener depends on rhythm to understand clearly. So, in the lower numbers, the teens, all right, let me get over here and click this. The teens, like this, the most important part for our ears is this, teen. Okay? Teen. This lets us know the detail. All right? So when we're pronouncing the first part, there's two ways you can do it. You can either make it really small or you can put stress on it. But if you put stress on this, then you have to put more stress on this. One thing you're going to notice when I pronounce this is that it's a true T, right? We talked a lot about the T sound. Last live was about the silent T. Now we're going to talk about this is going to be the true T because it's important, right? This that everyone's used to, that you guys are so good at making, usually almost only ever happens when it comes at the beginning of the stressed syllable. So when I pronounce this, I have to make sure that teen stands out. So when I pronounce it, it sounds like this. Listen, 13, 13, right? Listen again, 13, 13, 13, right? I can make this first part really small, 13, 13, or 13, but teen always stands out and is always a true T because that means for our ears that is an important T. Now, with these multiples of 10, we give it the opposite rhythm pattern. So we're always going to stress the first part here, and this part needs to be small. And just like we talked about in the first live that I did, when this T is unstressed, surrounded by vibration, it goes from a T to a D. And I've been telling you guys for so many lives that this D does not just make us sound American. This D lets us know that it's unstressed. All right, so listen to how it sounds. Listen to the difference. 1330. 1330. D, 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 D. Right? And if you say it like that, then it is obvious for our ears. All right, you guys repeat it after me. Listen. 1330. Like that. All right, if you guys have questions, let me know. Shout out to Jesus. What's up? Jesus, you guys, we're going to do a guest appearance on a live stream next week with Jesus. He is a Colombian living in the United States that has taught himself the American accent. So we're going to get some tips and tricks from him about how he learned how to listen to the language. Shout out to Jesus. Guys, get ready for that one. Let me know if you guys got questions, but this is the same pattern. It's the same pattern every time. Listen, 1440. Listen closely. 1440. Don't forget, you got to use musicality, right? You got to use melody. You got to use pitch, right? I'm really putting a lot of attention on these stressed vowels. Listen again. 1440. Okay, if I want to make this part bigger, that's fine. I can do that, but I still have to make this part even bigger. Listen, 15. I can say 15 or 15, 15 or 15, teen, but teen is always, always, always standing out. All right, 1550. You guys try it. 1550. Next is 1660. Repeat them. Don't just stare at me, guys. Repeat these after me. 1660. 1770. Listen to the vibration in the. You guys, when you're listening to this, listen to how the vibration continues all the way through. Because remember, what you see written here is not what I'm saying. Listen to how I pronounce this. Listen to the vibration. 70, 70, 70, 70. Listen, repeat it after me. 1770. 1880. 1990. Okay, so this is the format that our ears use when we're talking to each other as native speakers that we know, and it's obvious. I can't tell you how many of my students come to me, and when they start doing numbers, I understand through context only. There's such a big portion of non-native speakers that don't do this the right way. So let's just go through here. Let's go through the teens first. Listen, repeat them after me, guys. 13. Listen to how the pitch goes up. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20 is its only thing. We talked about 20 yesterday, has a silent T. Go back, watch that live. All right, let's do the multiples of 10. Listen to the vibration. Listen to the pitch. Listen to where the syllables, which syllable is big and which one's small. That's how we understand. Here we go. Repeat after me. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So that's it. That's it. It's so easy. That's how it works. There's no exceptions here. We do this every single time. Every single time. So if you guys want to guarantee that someone's going to understand you when you pronounce numbers, you got to do it like this. Let me know if there's questions. Hit the like button. All right, so let's look at some real life situations, some real life context, right? Let's start with the years. All right. I know in other languages there's different ways to say the years, but the best way to say these in English is just this one plus this one. All right, I know like in Spanish they say 1900 like and 13. To me that's it's too much. All right, but we got to make sure that the listener understands where the stress is. So can you pronounce this clearly? Give it a try. Try it without my help. You know the rules. Listen to how I do it. 1913. Hear the rhythm pattern? 1913. 1913. I think that's the year that is that the year that the Federal Reserve started? That's like that's what they say is like the biggest granddaddy of all the conspiracies began in 1913. I think it's called Jekyll Island. Check it out. All right, let's reverse it. So instead of 1913, right? Listen to those T's. Listen to those T's. 1913. Those T's mean stress. 1913. Let's do the other way. Listen to this. 1930. 1930. Listen to the difference. 1913 or 1930. Okay, same thing here. 2015. 2015 or 2050. 2050. You guys notice I'm not pronouncing this T here in 20. I already broke it down. I already went over the rules last night on the live. So if you want to know the rule, go check out the live from yesterday. But listen. The reason, I mean, what I will say is that it's not important. The reason I'm not pronouncing this T because it's not important. The reason I am pronouncing this T is because it's important, because this is the beginning of the stress. So listen again. 2015, 2050. So tune your ears for that. All right, here we go. Money, prices. This is what you guys need the most. Dollars, bucks. Do people still say bucks? I haven't lived in the U.S. for over a decade. I don't even know. I do. Look at this. $13. Right? Maybe you go into the gas station. You only got a little bit of cash. You say, whatever, 13 on 2. Right? Pump 2. 13. If you say 13 on 2, 13 on 2, the attendant, he might not be used to listening to non-native speakers. He might say, what? 13 on 2. Say 30 or 13. But if you say 13 on 2, this super obvious, and he's going to understand you. You can go pump your gas. Right? Or if I say 30 bucks. 30 bucks. Or if we're doing the gas example, 30 on 2. Right? 13 on 2, 13 on pump 2, or 30 on pump 2. There you go. Give them money, go about your day. Easy. All right? So, look at this one. How much is it? The person says $15.50. Or maybe you're selling something. I know a lot of you people that migrate are entrepreneurs. You might need to say the price to your customer. Right? So you got to make sure you use the right format. Listen, $15.50. Listen to the different T's. Listen to which part's big. $15.50. $15.50. Like that. Look at this. 50,000. 50,000. Or if we changed it, right, we could say $15,000. Listen to the difference. 50,000, 15,000. All right, now you're getting into the territory where it really makes a difference. Right? How much is a used car? 50,000. It's an expensive used car, but either way. Or 15,000. 50, 15. Same format. You hear that? I never changed the format. All right, and then look at this. What? Streets. I know a lot of you live in New York. I don't know. Are the streets numbered like this in other countries? I don't know. That is one thing I do like about Colombia a lot. Right? I don't think everything is perfect. No place is perfect. But the way that they number the streets makes a lot of sense. And actually, I was just watching a video that they said it actually measures distance as well. I didn't know that. But either way, it goes in order. It's super logical, right? The calles and carreras go like in the order. But if you say 14th Street or 40th Street, hear the difference? 14th Street or 40th. 40th. 14th, 40th. D. And again, with this multiple of 10, I'm always using that flat T. I'm always using that vibration because it means unstressed. Or you're in the hotel room, room 16 or room 60. 16 or 60. All right. So that's how it works. Guys, drop your questions in the chat. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. Let me know, where are you watching from today? What city, what state, what country? What's your native language? Do you have problems with numbers? Are there examples you want me to cover? Hit that like button. If you're learning something right now, that means somebody else wants to learn this. So hit the like button so the algorithm can push it out to them. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. All right, so obviously you can practice with these, right? These are good, but you probably want more material, right? Okay, I need more material that breaks it down just like this. Guess where you should go? To the best, most comprehensive, biggest pronunciation academy online, Rachel's English. 50,000 students practicing the same thing as you, learning how to listen to the language like a native speaker. Because if you can't listen to the language like a native speaker, then you'll never be able to pronounce things like a native speaker either. So, first thing you need to do, if you want to improve your pronunciation, come to Rachel's Academy and start training with over 50,000 other non-native speakers. She teaches you how to hear the language like a native speaker, and she has been teaching American pronunciation to non-native speakers for a long time. I am pretty sure she's the first one to ever put pronunciation videos on YouTube. So she has taught most of the teachers that you guys watch on Instagram or whatever other YouTube channels. They have learned how to teach pronunciation by watching Rachel's videos. So you want to go to where everyone else is going, to the best option, right? And look at this. You got 3 different options to sign up. Monthly, $39 a month. Or you got lifetime access for $400 a month. And guess what? Whichever one you click, if you do a year, I think the difference here is just the community access. But say if you go for a year here, look at this. Join today. You can get 10% off if you use my discount code. I'll show you. Look at this. Here's the checkout page. Look, it's already here. Look, we'll take it out. Josh 10. Put that in there. Boom. Take another $40 off the price. So that works with any of these plans. Even this monthly plan, you can get 10% off of this monthly plan. And guess what? That is so cheap for something that's going to change your life. You're going to be learning skills that you'll take with you for the rest of your life. All right, if you want me to check your pronunciation one-on-one, you want something more personalized directly with me, go to my website, Boost Up English, and get that quick accent check. It's a live 15-minute call, and I'll let you know exactly what is the gap, what you're missing, so you can start practicing it, focusing on the right thing that's going to move you towards your goal. And in that, with this $20 here, what you're going to do is you're going to learn basically what to work on. And if you want to apply that $20, you can come pick up weekly lessons or a 3-month package and just apply that $20 right on top. So, right, it's all it is basically me telling you what we're going to work on, and then we get right into the program. That money goes right with you to those live lessons. All right, so next up is going to be phrase chunks. Phrase chunks. What's up, everyone? What's going on? How are we tonight? Saturday. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Hit the like button, please. Let me know if there's something you want me to break down. If you want me to break down your pronunciation, you can scan that QR code right there for free. I'll do a live pronunciation breakdown here on one of the live lessons. Also, if I'm teaching you something that is helping you, go ahead and give me a tip. Send it. Scan the PayPal QR right now, or you can go to the description, buy me a coffee, and say, "Hey, Josh, thanks. No one ever taught me this. I've been having trouble with this. You broke it down so easily. I want you to keep going. I want you to keep doing these lives. Here's a little tip for my appreciation to help you continue doing this. And the more you guys send, the more lives I'll do. I promise that. But remember, I'm giving you skills that are going to change your life and you're going to be able to use for the rest of your life. All right, so phrase chunks. What are phrase chunks? Phrase chunks just means instead of memorizing the names of each grammar tense, all you need to focus on is starting with the phrases that you're going to use the most frequently, understanding how to pronounce them in a way that is easy for that listener, and then drilling them over and over and over so that you lock it in to your muscle memory and you only say it that way. And then you can take that phrase and you can put things behind it or in front of it and change what the details are, but you have that base, that template that you're going to use each time. So it doesn't matter how much grammar tense, or if you can name all those grammar tenses, if you can't pronounce it in a way that makes sense or comfortable for the native speaker's ear, it doesn't really matter. All right, so this one here, trying to, or how the way I hear you guys say it in my class, trying to, or trying to, right? Trying to, right? That's the way most of you non-native speakers pronounce this. Guess what? That's not easy to understand. All right, so first, as usual, you want to figure out which syllables are stressed. So stressed syllable here is the first one, try. All right, one thing you don't need to do, you don't need to in natural speech, right? When we pronounce things naturally or isolated, it's generally different, right? If I'm pronouncing this isolated with my best pronunciation, it will sound something more like what you non-native speakers say, like trying to. But in real conversation, I don't say that. I say trying to. Trying in. You hear this? Trying in. Sound in here. Duh. Again, because this is an unstressed T, we need to make it a flat T to let the listener know that it's unstressed, right? And we can just continue this vibration. Trying to. You repeat it. Trying to. Trying to. Don't forget, the more musical you make it, the better and easier it is it sounds, because you're creating more contrast with the pitch. Listen, trying to. Trying to. Follow the vibration. Don't listen to the letters. Listen to this. Trying to. Okay? When we're listening to each other speak, I'm not listening to letters. I'm not listening to words. I'm listening to this vibration coming up musically and the shape of it changing with volume, length, pitch, and space. So repeat it again. Listen, repeat what you hear right here. Trying to. Trying to. Just music and melody right here. So look, when we're using this is really versatile. I mean, you guys, we're all trying to do something, okay? But look at these high frequency verbs you can just put after it. And you're gonna have to figure out, is it a, the, or some, right? Is it general? Is it specific? Or is it non-countable, right? That's basically how you can look at these articles for those of you that battle with articles, right? A just means anyone, just any random one, like a chair, right? This is a chair, that's a chair, right? We don't know, we specifically don't know which one it is. The chair is like the chair that we know, it's that one, the chair. And some chairs is just like we can't count, we don't know the specific amount, the quantity. So let's go through these, you guys. Remember, the way we pronounce this, repeat it after me. Trying to. So listen, here we go. Repeat after me. Don't think about the letters. Only listen to this. Trying to get a. Trying to get the. Trying to get some. What examples do you guys want me to put here? Throw some examples in the chat of nouns that we can put here for our examples. What words do you want to practice here? Right? Let's just get this. Money. That's the easiest one. Trying to get some money. Listen, trying to get some money. I didn't say some. This is a function word. It's a reduction. Listen, some money. Trying to get some money. Trying to get some money. All right. Could get a better one. Let's get a better money symbol. All right, that's better. Trying to get some money. Look at this. Trying to make a, or trying to make the, or trying to make some, right? Trying to make a, well, we can say, let's make a decision. Trying to make a decision. You hear that? That's a schwa too. I didn't say de. Listen to that. Make a de. All those are schwas. Make a de. Coulda. Trying to make a decision. Trying to make a decision. Just sing your way through up and down. That schwa comes out naturally if you keep your voice moving forward. All right? Trying to find some. Don't put anything inappropriate in the chat, guys. Trying to find some what? Some, let's say opportunities. That's nice and wholesome. Opportunities. All right, look at it. We got two types of T's. Two, stress T, unstressed T, D. Look at this. Trying to find some mopper. You hear I linked that? Listen again. Smopper. Repeat it. Smopper. Trying to find some opportunities. Don't read trying to find some opportunities. Don't say that. Opportunities. Don't say that. I know you guys just said that. Opportunities. Say this. Opportunities. This part is what you need to listen to, not this. Opportunities. Listen to this. Opportunities. Trying to find some opportunities. All right. Here, talk about this one. I talked about this one in the R lesson here. You guys don't pronounce that W, please. Please don't pronounce this W. Most people don't really notice it, but it just proves that you're not listening to the language at all when you guys pronounce that. You guys say work. It means you just read the language and you just transferred the sounds from your language over. Work. We never say work. Never pronounce this. We just say were. All right, so this time let's use the what is that? That's the definite article. It's been a long time since I taught grammar. That's the definite article. Watch this. Trying to do the work. Here I just said do the right now. Do da. Again, I already did a lesson on th. Trying to do the work, not work. Trying to do the work. Okay? Oh, yeah, a lot of these. Too many of them. Trying to understand. I'm trying to understand. Are you trying to understand? Repeat them after me. We're trying to understand. We're trying to understand. We're trying to finish. We'll say trying to finish a project. Finish shapra. Hear that? Project. Trying to finish a project. This energy never stops. You guys love to stop for every single word. Trying to finish a project. Just listen to how this keeps going. Trying to finish a project. Repeat it. Trying to finish a project. Listening to this musicality the whole time. I'm going to say the answer. trying to remember the. Listen to this. Man, I've spent a lot of time working with students on this word. You guys most often say re, trying to re, re. And you put a lot of emphasis on this R. You go re, trying to re, re. It has nothing to do with American English. Listen to what I say. Trying to. What happened to the R? It's almost gone, right? Because it's inside. Everything's inside the body. Listen again. Trying to. You hear how the energy never stopped? Trying to remember the. Hear that? And the. Both just trying to remember the answer. All one connected group of air. Trying to remember the answer. You guys better be repeating these after me. Trying to avoid, let's say her. Let's make it fun. Trying to avoid her. She's looking for you. Nah, man. I'm trying to avoid her. You hear I said that? Dirt. I didn't say trying to avoid her. I did not pronounce the H. Will I explain it in a future lesson? Sure. Do you need to know the rules to start practicing it now? No. Just repeat what you hear. Listen to the vibration, the music, the linking connection. Listen. Trying to avoid her. Did you hear there's two schwas here? Duh. That's why you need musicality, so we can hear that it's not just duh. It's duh, trying to, duh, trying to avoid her. Trying to avoid her. Same thing here. Trying to. It's two of the same sounds. Trying to. But I'm not saying dot. I guarantee that's what you just did. Don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't do that. Listen to what I'm doing. Trying to. It's not up here. It's up here, down here. Trying to decide. Listen slowly. Listen to the vibration. Trying to decide. Trying to decide. All in here. To decide. Not trying to decide. Trying to decide. Like that. Look at this. Trying to improve. You hear how small M was? Trying to. Trying to improve. Made improve so obvious. And the last one, trying to learn. Trying to learn. We're all trying to learn. Well, not everyone, but you guys here, at least in this live stream, watching this, you guys are trying to learn. Say it with me. Trying to learn. All right. So that's your phrase chunk. Trying to. I mean, you guys should put this as a top priority, whether you think it is or not, because I know from my experience working with you non-native speakers from whatever background that you guys say this is one of your most used phrases, and you most often do not say it like this. So it is worth the effort to just take a week or two, drill this every day, trying to, and just start to put whatever these verbs or whatever, however you would say it with it. Okay? Let me know if you have questions about this. Let me know if there's examples that you want me to cover related to this. Hit the like button if you learned something. Make YouTube push the video out more so other people can learn this too. We can all learn how to listen to English like a native speaker. If this is making your life easier, send me a tip. Bless the PayPal. Scan the QR code. Go to the description. Buy me a coffee. Say, hey, thanks, Josh. You broke that down so well, man. That's really helpful. It makes my life a whole lot easier. Here's $5. Here's $10. Here's $1,000. Right? Don't be afraid to send me 1,000. All right. So again, guys, this is a good start, but you need more material. So if you want to go to a place where there's other people practicing the same thing as you, thousands of people practicing the same thing as you, where you can get more video lessons You can get downloadable audio so that you can do your shadowing practice. Now that you know what to focus on, now that you know how it sounds, you should go to Rachel's English. Rachel's English is the number one place for non-native speakers to train how to listen to the American accent and how to train the American accent themselves. So remember, guys, we've got 3 tiers of memberships. You got monthly, yearly, and lifetime. You'll be here with over 50,000 students. There's also a feature where you can go into her community and you can see the videos that other students post. You can learn from their videos. You can post your own videos and you'll get feedback from teachers. Maybe it will be me, maybe it will be another teacher, but it will be good, high level, direct, personalized feedback included in the price of your subscription. And if you use my coupon code Josh10, you get 10% off. 10% off any of these plans for life. Any of these plans, if you put in at checkout, if you put in Josh10, it takes off 10% automatically. Boom. Look at that. So it doesn't make sense. If you guys actually want to improve your English, it doesn't make sense not to start. The good thing, why I think you should get the lifetime access is because, everyone gets busy. We understand that. But you already paid. So even if you don't use the academy for a month or two, right, things get crazy, you're not getting charged every month if you do the monthly. I mean, if you don't have the 300, right, it's less than 300. How much is it with, I don't feel like doing math. Let's just put in the coupon code. It's 360 with the coupon code. So like even if life gets busy, right, you're not going to get charged $40, right, in the months you're not using it. So it's better just to use the lifetime access. You get it for life. Trust me, guys, I've been living in a Spanish speaking country for over 10 years and I'm not done practicing my pronunciation. I can still improve. So 10 years from now, when you paid 360 in 2026 for a academy or a resource or tool that's helping you continue to get better in 2036, I don't think you're going to regret it. So, rachelsenglish.com. If you guys want me to check out your pronunciation, come to my website, boostupenglish.com. If you want a live one-on-one call with me, I will listen to you and let you know what you should focus on to keep moving forward towards your goal. If you want to take that $20 from that live call, you can apply it to either the weekly lessons or the 3-month high transformation package, where I'll schedule weekly lessons with you and you just take that $20 and just take it off the price of these lessons right here. So that's boostupenglish.com for your live one-on-one pronunciation analysis. All right, guys, we only got one segment left. That is the accent analysis. Hit the like button in the chat, please. Let YouTube push this out to other people. We're going to break down live pronunciation analysis of some well-known person. I think this is the CEO of Pepsi. CEO of Pepsi. All right, let's do some research on him. What's his name? Ramon Laguarta. Ramon Laguarta. You guys know about this guy? I have no idea about this guy. Let's do some research. What is this guy about? Ramon Laguarta, CEO of PepsiCo. Who invented PepsiCo? Let's just go to his wiki page. Oh, he's from Barcelona. How do you guys say that? You Castellanos? How do you say that? Barcelona. Barcelona. Let's do the wiki in English. All right, so Spanish executive, blah, 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 blah. He took over in 2018. I'm pretty sure Pepsi is going down. I just saw something saying like no one's drinking Pepsi. And Pepsi has tried and tried and tried, right? I mean, you guys remember all the types of Pepsi there was? If you guys are If you guys are at least 35 years old, you guys remember Crystal Clear Pepsi. I think it was like, what was it, like some kind of cream soda kind of thing. What else? Well, I think is Mountain Dew from Pepsi. I think that's probably the top seller. Or I don't know. That's what's keeping it alive. I don't know anybody who drinks Pepsi. If you want soda, everyone goes for a Coke. All right, so he was born in '63, so he's a young boomer. He's got an MBA from Thunderbird School of Global Management. What the heck? Thunderbird is affiliated school of Arizona State University. Okay. Founded in 1946. Okay. It's got a cool name, I guess. He's got a bachelor's, master's. He worked at Chupa Chups. What's this? What's Chupa Chups? Just like, it was like, chup chup. Yeah, it's chupar to suck. Yeah, I know that one, guys. It's lollipops. Okay. He's been with PepsiCo since 1996, man. He helped lead acquisition of a Russian dairy and juice company, $5 billion. So he knows how to make deals. Personal life. He speaks Spanish, Catalan. You guys have to let me know what is the difference between Catalan and Spanish. I don't know. French, German, and Greek. All right, so look, he speaks a lot of languages. So we got to take this into consideration when we're breaking down his pronunciation. I mean, he is a talented person for languages. Right, German and Greek, Spanish, English. All right. You guys know anything else about this guy? I don't. Okay. All right, let's get set up for this. Bring me up here next to him. All right. So, guys, remember, here's a disclaimer. If you guys are going to get all caught up in your feelings and, all emotional because I'm doing an accent analysis on someone, start getting in my comments, well, why can't people have an accent? And it's hard to, yes, I know. Okay. Why are you watching the video? Why are you watching it? Like, this video is for people who are interested in hearing what this guy can do to sound more clear and natural for an American speaker. It has nothing to do with whether or not I think or care if he should change his accent. I honestly don't care at all. But there's a lot of people who do care about improving their listening and their pronunciation. So this is for them. If you're not one of those people, just go find a video that you actually like on YouTube. All right. So, without further ado, Ramon Laguarta.
I'm keen to talk to you in a bit about your production in Europe, not fine, and saying, no, we're
to the press, no? But the fact that suppliers and customers get into commercial tensions is just a fact of life.
So he seems to be putting like nice attention on stressed vowels. He's got a little bit of a pinched sound, right? He's got like more like a, like up here, which is like not that familiar for a native speaker's ear, like American listener. But he does seem to have like musicality, right? But like he doesn't have this melody as much. It seems like he's kind of squeezing some of the muscles up in here, closing down this channel or pathway of air a little bit. I can hear him putting a little bit extra attention on consonant sounds, which makes a lot of sense for a Spanish speaker. Let's keep going and get into some details.
Win-win. So there's a much better collaboration.
A much, right? So that wasn't easy to understand because he put so much effort or energy on the M. It took away from the identity of the vowel, which is just right? Much, right? Listen how he says it.
Win-win. So there's a much better.
There's a much. It's almost like a hybrid of match. Like is it match or much, right? So remember, M is not ma. It's just slide right through much like that.
Imagine we won't talk about it, but I'm not.
That was good. Talk about it. Listen to that.
Imagine we won't talk about it, but
Talk about it. Listen how he linked that consonant vowel linking with a flap T. That was really good, Ramon. That is something that you can only get from either being around native speakers a lot, especially when you're younger, or accent training. So he definitely has some. Not only is he talented in speaking a lot of languages, he has some skills with English, and he's using an American English from what I can tell.
Again.
no, but they can eat Cheetos in many other customers. So we
All right, that's not clear because of the way he's pronouncing can, but they can eat. But they can eat. Listen,
Again.
no, but they can eat Cheetos in many.
but they can eat. But they can eat Cheetos. He's used the flap T for Cheetos.
Again.
No, but they can eat Cheetos in many other.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense, man. Cheetos. But the way he's pronouncing the word can, he's destroying the intonation and contrast of the whole phrase. Because even with they, like, listen to this.
Again.
No, but they can eat Cheetos in many.
But they can eat. But they can eat. You know, what in those four words, but they can eat. Which one is the most important? Eat. But from his intonation, you cannot tell because he's saying, but they can eat. But they can eat. Right? So he needs to make but, they, and can so much smaller, and we let that pitch go with eat. So he can say, but they can eat. But they can eat. But they can eat. You hear how I'm pronouncing can? Can. I'm saying kin. He's saying can. But they can eat. But they can eat. But they can eat like that. That's how you pronounce can when you're not emphasizing it, right? If he was going to say, but they can eat, right, that would be different, but he's not doing that.
It's good for us, I think, in this topic to.
Good for us, right? Good for us.
No, I think it's good for us. I think
it's good for us. I said it's good for, right? He could be way more aggressive with that reduction. Way more. He's like making it small, but he's not removing the vowel sound, right? He's not saying fur. He's saying it's good for us. It said it's good for us, for us, for us. Just smashing those consonants together, sliding right through with the vibration. If you pronounce for too clearly, it takes away from the contrast. So I would say so far it's kind of like feeling kind of like a really advanced Spanish speaker that's still a little bit that's not a little bit, but it's really attached to pronouncing all of the words and syllables really clearly, because that's really what Spanish is about. Everything really clear.
2 years. So this is unusual. It's the first time we had to do that. We've done.
That was really the first time we had. I wish he would say "tuh." I wish he would have used the schwa instead of had to. But that was really nice pitch and musicality right there. Good job, Ramon.
Stabilizing. We're seeing.
Stabilizing. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Finally, so we're seeing supply chain stabilizing.
Stabilize. Stab. All right. It does say stab, right? It does say STAB. But I mean, this would be an example of, right? He read it and he didn't learn how to pronounce it by hearing it. Listen to how he's saying stab. This is a diphthong, so instead of stab, he should say stay. Hear the difference? Hear the continuation of the voice? Stab, stabe, abe, ab, abe. Listen.
Finally, so we're seeing supply chain stabilizing.
Stabilizing. Stabilizing. Apuñalar. All right, Ramon.
So we and that's due to a lot of bottlenecks in the agriculture industry.
Okay, I'll give him some respect on that. I wish he would say "duda" instead of "do to," but man, that's not that crazy. But he's saying bottlenecks in the He said bottlenecks. He used that flap T. Let us know it's not important. Nice smooth connection up and down. This was nice.
So we and that's due to a lot of bottlenecks in the agriculture industry.
Yeah, I mean, he could have used a schwa agriculture as well. He said agriculture, but he still had nice contrast with agri. Right? If he said agra, right, it would be more obvious. But there was some distance in the pitch, so that was nice, man.
Equations in the commercial plants.
Commercial. All right, this is something that kills contrast here. Unstressed syllable that finishes with M. Remove that vowel, turn it into into a reduction. Listen to what he says.
Equations in the commercial plan.
Commercial, go. Right? Native speakers say Hear the difference? Huge difference. Call, He's saying commercial. We're saying commercial. Yeah, how much more obvious it is that it's unstressed in this my version? Commercial. He's saying commercial. I'm saying commercial, like that. Oops.
And I would say geopolitics had less relevance. We were not thinking about so much the geopolitics. We're thinking more about the consumer and the customer.
Okay, he did it this time. You hear that? He said the consumer. He didn't say consumer. So this time he did that syllabic consonant. It made it sound a lot better. Nice job, Ramon.
So I wondered how that was going.
That's how we define ourselves. We play into
How we define.
That's how we define ourselves.
So how we define ourselves, or how we define, right? It's all the same, right? How we instead of how we do. You hear my version? We do. Say how we de. His version, how we define ourselves.
We play into very large categories. If you think about
Oh, that was good. Categories. That sounded great. That was really good. Let's listen to that again. That sounded super clear, super natural.
We play into very large categories. If you think about
very large categories, that sounded really comfortable for my ears.
100 years. So that's why it's so important that we're very good at consumer understanding. And through that consumer understanding, what we
consumer. You say con instead of kun. So I would say the theme of this, the thing I would tell them to start focusing on right away is understanding, what a syllabic consonant is. Syllabic consonant is when you have M, N, L, or R at the end of an unstressed syllable, and that vowel just gets taken over, wiped out, disappeared.
100 years. So that's why it's so important that we're very good at consumer understanding.
Consumer.
And through that consumer understanding,
it's because, he needs to just dedicate more responsibility to vibration. So he's like consumer instead of because it's just vibration, just consumer.
What we learn is that consumers are
that was a little better, I think.
Looking for different needs throughout the day, different occasions, and our mantra is
different needs for PepsiCo products. Yeah, man, you got to think outside the box for sure. But are we really looking for different needs throughout the day for PepsiCo products? I don't know.
We want to be always everywhere in consumer life. So always.
You hear that, you guys? PepsiCo wants to be everywhere in your lives. I'm sure for some of you it already is. I guess it's in my life too, but I don't know.
Basis for us. One is evolving the portfolio and with those vectors. The other one basis for us. One is evolving the portfolio and with those vectors. The other one is
vectors, right? That's the same thing. Same thing as consumers. This time it's at the end. It's with the R. He say vectors instead of vectors. Stirs vectors like that.
Basis for us. One is evolving the portfolio and with those vectors. The other one
vectors. He okay. So he didn't really pronounce the vowel, but he put pitch on it. You hear vectors instead of vectors. Stirs. That was what made it sound bigger than it should, right? Because it's unstressed. So you put a little bit pitch on it, right? It's taking on a different identity.
Both, where we're creating a lot of smaller brands that you might.
That was really nice, smaller brands. That sounded great, man.
Both, where we're creating a lot of smaller brands.
So easy. Listen, you hear that melody? So easy to understand. You hear that melody? Smaller brands. He's really singing using his diaphragm and his body to send the information. So, this guy is really good. I mean, he was, what do we say? He was speaking like 4 or 5 languages as well. So this guy is pretty talented when it comes to languages and when it comes to selling Pepsi, obviously, too.
Right, so that's
Pepsi and Cheetos.
That's the complexity of the R&D.
Okay, so again, syllabic consonants, complexity.
Right, so that's the complexity of
the complex, because he's pronouncing that K so hard he needs to transfer the to vibration. He said complexity, so the complexity like that.
In the US, the food industry there, because the demand for snacks and the kind of many of the products that you make will simply go down. So I wonder.
The snacks.
right? So we have products that will be a little bit impacted, products that will be
You hear that though? That was nice singing, like a little bit impacted. Like that was a nice musicality. Nice musicality.
products. We have sports drinks. We have a lot of categories that are balancing each other. And the good news
What is the PepsiCo sports drinks? You guys know? I probably drink some. I drink Monsters sometimes, white Monsters at PepsiCo.
and organizations evolve, and we have the
All right,
and organizations.
Same thing here. All right, this is what if he came to me, I'd say, all right, you're doing a pretty good job with placement, musicality. I think your consonant sounds are taking a little bit more identity than you need, but one thing that's really killing your rhythm and making your accent distracting is your unstressed syllables, especially syllabic consonants. Listen to how he says organizations. Listen to how I say it. Organizations. Listen to how he says it.
Evolve, and we have the R&D opportunities, and organizations evolve.
Organization. You hear that?
And organizations.
I say organizations. He says organize. So he's giving a lot of attention, identity to unstressed syllables, and American ears are not used to that.
In two elements, obviously financial performance and business performance, but also in terms
All right, well, he did a syllabic consonant. He said per. He didn't say performance. He said per. So, right, he is getting some of the syllabic consonants.
It's a challenge. So if anybody in the room is a marketeer, that I love your advice.
All right, he could have put a little bit more. Usually the words that finish in EER are the primary stress is EER. He could have put a marketeer, right? He could have put a little bit more pitch, a little bit more attention on that.
It's a challenge. So if anybody in the room is a marketeer,
he said marketeer, said marketeer, right? He said marketeer. But you notice that the T is true T because that's the primary stress. So, right, marketeer. He said marketeer, said marketeer, like that. All right, let's do a couple more. We're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, again, it's an example of how we can become very local, have, multiple.
Local, listen.
Yeah, again, it's an example of how we can become very local, have.
Local. Well, he didn't say local. We said local. Like, he's not down. That's a dark L. It's got to be down here local. He said local. So local. Remember, the American ear doesn't follow the sound of mouth voice. The American ear only follows the sound of body voice, the vibration, the resonance, the melody down here. So when you say local, it's not the same to us as local, just like that. All right, we'll wrap this up almost here.
With our brands, and
it's something that was pretty nice.
Will go eventually, and we're so ingrained in countries like Pakistan.
Countries, right? He didn't put much attention on that vowel. He said countries instead of countries. Okay, so Pakistan's loving the PepsiCo. All right, so guys, that is a great kind of overview of this guy's pronunciation. I mean, I honestly think that he does a really good job, especially considering how many languages he speaks. But people say that after the second language it gets a little bit easier, but he definitely has a lot of really strengths that help him sound clear, natural, familiar, comfortable for an American listener's ear. So if you guys have someone that you want me to do an accent analysis on, you can drop it in the chat. You can drop it in the comments. If you want me to analyze your accent here on one of these lives, just scan that QR code, upload your video, and I'll go over it here in one of the live lessons. And if you want something more private, personal, one-on-one, you can go to my website, Boost Up English, and you can book the quick accent check. It's a live 15-minute call, and I'll listen to you just like I listened to our man Ramon here today, and I'll let you know what you should start focusing on to take your listening and speaking to the next level. So there you guys go. Now you know about how to pronounce numbers. You've got phrase chunks of trying to, so you guys have plenty of stuff to be working on tonight and for the rest of the week. So now that you guys have all of these skills, you can continue to practice them and just boost it up.